the truth profoundly. These are Germans here. For me to the message clear. Go Paul, Das, and Paul. They say Duane the writer leads the way. Time to madness, it's bright. Gotta wake up, see the light.
You know, there will be certain experiences in your life that will stand out amongst others. And as you go through this, because you're going to go through a lot, and you're going to be torn to pieces, you're going to doubt at times, you're going to hate it at times, just like when we were raised by our parents. We loved our parents, but at times we hated them, we resisted, we wanted to run away from home, just on and on. And the same thing with this, with life, going through creation, all of it. You go through everything. And so when you're going through that, you want to look at certain experiences to hang on to, because it will help you. And it's just very, very real. And you need something more. And this is what people don't realize. You really need something more. You know, just like people that are religious, they have their belief more so than their relationships. Maybe a Christian is having a bad marriage. So what do? They go to their belief. They have something else. So with this, you have these real side experiences with something else besides just your personal life and your family, because that's going to take its own turns, this way, that way, whatever. It will. It looks good for a while, it goes bad, it goes back and forth, it ends, whatever. You've done it for lifetimes. Okay, so listening to this, listening to your experience, did you say that there was a tractor, you know, like on a farm or something involved, that you were on a tractor or something, or someone was on a tractor?
Germa was initially.
Oh, okay. He was on a tractor, like on a farm.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And did you know, the most popular tractor, I'm assuming you've heard of it, John Deere. They're usually green. Yeah, John Deere tractors, they've been around forever. Most people have John Deere. There are other ones, but John Deere tractor. Did you happen to notice what kind of tractor it was, or the color?
No, it was one of the older style ones that had the large 2 rear wheels and then the smaller 2 close ones in the front.
Right.
But it was quite worn, as if it was weathered. I couldn't quite tell.
Okay, no, that's good, because see, that entails farming. Okay, and so this is what we're doing in a way, and that's my focus too with the Mexicans down here. I've got valuable assets to get funding. I've been working on this for years with the governments and whatever, to get funding to do projects for the farmers and what have you. That's why I'm down here in Mexico, because I love the Mexicans. They're sweethearts. They are the most humble people, and that's my total focus. So it's very interesting. And through this experience here, as you went through this experience with Germa, so you recognize, so no, it's all good, because this is what it's pointing to. Now, I find Eric's experience very interesting too. See, what's happening, Harold is with Eckankar, and I was originally there when Paul created Eckankar. Then Darwin Gross, another fella, took over for 10 years. Then Harold for like 40 years. Harold's totally evil. Okay, he's the tap liner, and he's out. They're getting a new fake master. That's Joan Clem. She's reptilian. I know Joni very well. I know all of this since the beginning. From a long time ago, I was in EC, 1970. Started that when Paul was here. Paul Twitchell was here. Paul's a real guy with Rebazar, etc. And so there's a lot to go through, and this is what I try to tell Eric and you kids. It says, you know, you've got a lot of experience to go through, but your experiences are very good, and they're giving you very good experiences simply because of what's going on in the world. And you really want to pay attention to this stuff, because again, it's very, very real. And as you go along, you're going to see that this world here is just a one-dimensional consciousness, and it's going nowhere. It's all imploding, okay? And so you don't want to be caught up in it. So like the experience they're showing you, You really want to pay attention, etc., and have the focus. But what I asked you is this is the same Germa individual that Eric experiences?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right, because Rebazar assigned Germa to Eric, which is fine, that's the thing. Okay, so it's like whatever, all right? All right, and you're having your experiences too. See, I know my intent, and so when he's having this experiences with Harold, and supposedly there's a dark Duane standing back, well, something else is going on. This is the tricks of the Callum God, because first of all, number one, I don't think about Eric. Okay, I don't have an attitude about Eric. He's there, and I always wait to see what people are going to do. So again, me showing me, but it's not me. They're disguising, they're doing something. Harold's doing this, and they're setting up this illusion. Now, what makes sense is that his former contract boss with the G Fuel, that makes sense. Because the Callum God, and see, Germa in another experience told him, hey, Eric, that's the Callum God that you've got to deal with the G Fuel. Because I don't know if you were on that Skype. I think you were.
Yes.
But Eric wanted to introduce Germa to his boss or whatever. And Germa said, basically, I don't want to meet him. That's the Callum God. And Eric's going, well, who's the Callum God? So again, this is the God that people worship. He's in control. He's a huge controller in creation. I've had many confrontations with the Callum God, etc. And so it's no big deal. But see, that makes sense because see, now Eric is all of a sudden not agreeing, and Eric's a focal point. And so this is why the guides also are trying to get Eric's attention, because he's stepped up. And so he has a lot of influence, and that influence can go either way, you see? It can go as a benefit or it can be detrimental. And so just like Eric was thinking at first, oh, gee, G Fuel's really a good thing. It's really far out, whatever. No, it's not. It's pure garbage and it's pure poison like Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you don't want to report this. You don't want to promote this crap, no matter, it's not worth the money, because in the long run, people are going to get sick and cancers from this, and you're going to be responsible because you did it for the money. You see, before there was money, people didn't chase money. But now that there's money, because money's about control, it's about controlling you and stealing your labor, well, people chase money, and they even kill each other over money, don't they? All the time, every day. Yeah. And this is an aspect of control in the lower worlds, is the monetary system, all right? And also technology. Yeah. And technology controls most of our life. We don't need technology, but it's here. And it is mind control. It's not good. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and so many others, and whatever, all these idiots, Trump, whatever, they're all in on it. They're all in on all this bullshit controlling people. They make it look good, but they do nothing. All this diplomatic crap equals nothing. And this is the world today, and it's hard for people to see through this stuff. It really is hard to see through it. So, again, all life is about awareness, but it's going through the process. That's the biggie, and this is a lifetime process. This is not something where you're going to get some answer and you're going to be saved and all this. No, it's like a tree growing. It's like they find a tree that's 500 years old and it's still growing. The thing being is that it's like you just started out when you met the real guides, you planted the seed with this to become more aware by the fact that you started to agree. And so now you are like the tree growing, and you just, it doesn't matter me. I've been in this a lot longer, I've done a lot more, but I'm like a little kid. I know nothing. I have an awareness, but that's my focus, is awareness. Now, getting through your personal mind and stuff, and for both of you, Eric and you, each other are an objective view. So you see how Eric is and how literal he is. So you want to hear that as one example, and there's many, with the sun shining. Look at the sun shining and how free it is of any idea at all, and it's fine. And then you look at Eric with all the ideas, no matter what you say, he starts assuming things in a literal fashion, because that's how he set himself up. So again, if I suggested that, I kind of remember that. It's like, Eric, do something different. Tell him when you're with the FBI or whatever. Just do something different, Eric, than just your own thinking is what I was really notioning. So he goes out and literally does this. He puts himself in the position and does this.
Yeah.
Well, he did it. And, there's that old saying that, you go and get in trouble at school and you tell your mom, and what does your mom say? Well, if your friend told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? It's an old.
Eric
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, because it's literal. And the thing is but you learn through that. So in school, we learned a lot of these things like, duh, you hear things, but it doesn't mean you just go do it. You hear stories and stuff. I hear things all the time.
My main concern is that he said he was an FBI agent, at least here in the States. That's a pretty serious thing. My worry is that if he starts throwing other people's name around, throwing your name around, do either one of us really want to even get on an FBI list?
But here's the idea, because I was with the Secret Service so long. No, these people are bullshitters, okay? When you understand that they are the biggest bullshitters, see, again, your literal mind is thinking, oh, this is a serious thing. You did something serious. No, they've convinced you. They're con artists. They've convinced people that, oh, that's a serious charge. It's bullshit. They know that they are actors. The president of the United States, he's a special person. No, he isn't. He's a effing idiot. That's it. And they've all proven that. So again, don't buy their bluff. It is not a serious anything. It's baloney. But now that he's there, he's got to play the game and he's got to figure it out. And yes, he will become more aware through this, okay? But he's got to first face the fact that he did it. And until he does that, okay, he's not going to become more aware. He's going to become more confused.
Oh, he's so confused as is. I don't even know what to bring through anymore.
And he's got to go through that too. And you got to let him go through it. I have a family. I have a daughter. She's 40 years old. I'm not trying to convince her any which way or whatever. She sees what I'm doing and she thinks I'm funny and nuts and whatever. My focus is the natural environment to let people know what's going on. And you look at the business world, look at the President of the United States, Phil. Do they ever talk about the natural environment? Do they ever mention it?
Nope.
In their political speeches? Never. No, they just go out and destroy the environment. They talk about diplomacy and all the bullshit and all the people in the deals they're making that destroy the environment. They never talk about realistically saving it and setting things into motion to do it. No, not at all. These people are destroyers. Okay, so again, Eric, you have to let him go through his experience because he's a big boy now. And he's got to learn to face it. Otherwise, he's not going to become more aware. He's going to stay. He's just going to think that someone's going to bail him out every time he makes a so-called wrong decision. Yeah, but that's up to you. You become his caretaker, you see? So if you give in to that, you become his caretaker. Okay, and he should have learned all these things to face what he decides, no matter who says what. Hey, If the general gives you an order, you have the right to disobey that order. But yeah, they can put you in prison or whatever, but you still have the right to disobey that order. But if the general says go out and shoot that guy across the street, well, I took the orders and I shot that guy across the street, and the police come and arrest you. Well, I was under the orders of the general. Well, you could have still disobeyed the orders, but I would have went to jail. Well, you're going to jail now because you just murdered the guy. So, are you stupid or what? You know, you would have been better off disobeying the order than going out there and following the order and shooting the guy. You see? And this is what a lot of the soldiers realized that went over to the other countries, etc., when they're invading these countries like what they're doing now, starting World War III with Israel and Iran and all this stuff. These soldiers, and they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube and whatever, saying, hey, we're killing women and children here. And they're finally realizing, hey, why are we doing this? Because we're under orders? It's freaking nuts. And yeah, this is how sick the world is. So again, you're going to kill somebody because they order you to, women and children, and they do it all the time, Phil, and it's freaking nuts. And these are wonderful people they're destroying. And everything's poison. We got chemtrails every day. They're poisoning all of us.
We got that fog now, too.
Yeah, the fog. You saw the fog. I gave you, yeah. I think I gave you a thing on it. Yeah, they're not stopping, young man, and they're going to up the G's. They're going to keep doing all this shit because they're destroying everything. And how much are you going to take before you stand up and say, no, I'm not agreeing with this?
Well, they've been seeing like creatures in the fog now, too. And this is if they're trying to open up a portal or some sort, bringing things in.
Yes, they are. They are. Because, again, overall, this is the elite's entertainment. Look at the movies. Look at all the nutso movies. And what do you see in most of the movies? Killing, competition, revenge. You see, this is their entertainment, watching people suffer and be stupid. Yeah. One of the biggest things is revenge. Oh, you killed my dad. I'm going to get you. And so you go out there and you kill 50 people to get to the guy that supposedly killed your dad, right? Like John Wick. Yeah. That's a good one, too, with Keanu Reeves, the Wick ones or whatever, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Bourne thing where they hypnotize you unconsciously to go out there and be a killer. You know,
it's like being born again.
Yeah, exactly. And see, this is how it is. It's all a setup to stay confused, stupid. And see, what people don't realize, Phil, is that it's not just about this lifetime and good or bad or whatever. It's about, no, they're setting you up for ongoing lifetimes to stay unconscious and tap blind. So you kill somebody, you got 20 more lifetimes, 30 more lifetimes. They got you under control. Those lifetimes, they've got you tap blind. This is what people don't know. So they go to religion thinking that, oh, God will forgive me and I'll be fine. No, you won't. You're in with the Kalam God. You're in creation. You're tap line. You're coming back.
Yep. At that point, you just suck at the God's dick.
Yes, exactly. Religion is bullshit. Okay? The God and the devil are the same thing. The reptilians invented all this crap. The real universes are an endless freeness like the open sky. There are no authorities. It's being to being. You're an awesome light being. So it's about focusing on the awareness and learning to recognize this awareness. And that's what the controllers don't want you to do. They want to keep you in control because they're so afraid that others are going to become aware and see what they're doing and stop agreeing, because it's all about agreement. Yes, we have to deal with it, but you don't have to agree. That's the biggie, you see? And that's why, the Kalam God or Eric's old boss is pissed off at him, because in some way he's given up the agreement. But you'll notice in that experience with when he was in Burger King before with Germa, hey, everything was fine because Eric was still in the contract. There was agreement. Now he's all pissed off because Eric's not agreeing anymore. So, and Germa has a lot to learn too. And so he's a good guy, but he's got a lot to learn too. And so we all do. But it takes an adamant focus, something, and to recognize this thing. It's very simple, but at the same time, it's indifferent to anything you've known, and it's very real, like the sun shining. But it just takes a little while to click onto it. But you just keep practicing and just keep looking at what is it that I can see that I normally cannot see. Okay, so it's like the air you breathe. It's supporting you, but you can't see it, and you know it's real. And how do you recognize that? And just like the sun shining, so the reality life is, it's far too real. You will never be able to grasp it, but you can learn to recognize it and become more aware with it because it's endless. And this is the uniqueness about it. But one thing that is precious with it is the sincerity of it. Just like the sun shining, when you look at it, learn to see the sincerity of it. That's what's important. And do you have that sincerity? Learn to develop that sincerity, to be so sincere with what life is, to recognize it, and eventually it becomes a love affair.
No, I've had my fair share of those. Oof.
Not like a personal love affair. You will have your personal life, but you decide if you want to surpass the personal life altogether, and that takes a lot, and very few people will do that. They will want to stay in the body forms, and that's a choice. Everybody has a choice. But to be as this reality is, you have to decide to surpass the personal self and recognize what it is already. And what's so cool about it, Phil, is it's an isness. It already is. Creation is something created. This is where we practice. This is a simulator. We practice here until we figure it out and decide to get real with life. That's a big decision because it's not the same as creation. And it is a toughie, okay? So again, that's what's being shown to you in your experiences. There's the needles in that in the clear water. So again, it's how clear you want to see it. And like Eric's saying, well, tell us some of your experiences, Duane. Well, they're really not going to mean anything to you. Because again, you have to go through a lot of experience to start to recognize this. But anyhow, just take everything a day at a time. Let the past go. Just see it as a reference. You don't need a future. You just learn to recognize this reality. And yes, decide things like you're going to the store tomorrow or you're going on vacation next week. Yeah, fine, whatever. Play the game. But projecting into the future and holding on to things and whatever, you're formulating your future lifetimes. Learn to recognize how you're doing this. Do you want to come back here? Do you want to start over again in a new body? And when you do, there's no guarantee that you're going to recognize the guidance as you do right now. That's for sure. Because right now, you're seeing something. You want to hang on to it. That's what you're being shown and told. Because very few, Phil, of all the people that I market out there, whatever to get, you are the only two basically that have come along from that part of it. I've got other people and whatever, et cetera, from other areas. But very, very few because it's just too hard. The real you knows that this is very difficult, very, very difficult to start to, go this way. And because it starts to disrupt your personal life, because all of a sudden you start to become more aware. All of a sudden, I talk to people, I just tell people about the chemtrails a little bit, and all of a sudden they don't want to hear it anymore. They want their la-la land. They want to keep pretending that, hey, everything's going to be fine. Well, guess what? I'm not saying it's not, but if you want it fine, you have to become more aware and face it and stop agreeing with it unconsciously,
Yeah.
because you're agreeing to it. Because if you're not aware of it, you're agreeing to it unconsciously. And so again, that's a huge confrontation for the personal self, you see? Yeah, that's a lot to, it's like, geez, though, there's an old saying, ignorance is bliss. A lot of people, they don't want to know because they're afraid to know. Because again, but it's okay. The best part is I like the challenge. I don't care if they destroy me. I'm dealing with the world governments. They know I'm here. I'm surprised I'm still here. But you know what? Guess what? I have an interesting protection, but I don't look to that. I just do it. I just do it because I like the challenge and I like to figure it out. I like the adventure and I really care for the people that are unaware. I see what's going on and sometimes I cry. The thing being is that there's so many wonderful people that I know that have a potential to step up, and especially the children. And Rebazar has brought many awesome seers to me, and they never saw it. And this is precious, okay? And you're having these experiences, and you can learn to see it too. You can learn to be a seer, to really be able to recognize this and see this, not just the experiences themselves, but you need the experiences too, you see? But there's a lot to go. So you have to be realistic. This is the rest of your life. That's how it is. Yeah. And it's just one day at a time. Yeah. Just be cool, whatever. Whatever you decide with Eric, that's up to you. See, now all of a sudden, Eric's outside of his bubble. And it's scary for him. Okay. Well, we all got to be scared. I've been there. I understand. And you have to learn to deal with it, just like going through the military boot camp. You have to crawl under the machine gun fire if you want to be the soldier.
I might let him sweat it for a little bit, personally. I mean, honestly, what better lesson than to let his donut get ruined, quite literally, in prison?
Well, I know it's hard, but the thing is that will he get the lesson? And I'm not saying that he needs it. It's not about that. It's just that it is what it is. This is how it is. Okay. So, if he goes through it, he's going to get something. If he doesn't jump to the wrong conclusions, in other words, it's not about your mind and your thinking. Yes, there's that part of it, but it's about what do you see with what you're experiencing? What is it you see? Yeah. But see, again, what did I say a while back? I said, you two will help each other out. So you decide how you're going to do that. I have people that I deal with. I'm here with Val and I'm here with Ava. We all help each other out, okay? Because we are like our own little community here doing certain things, to help ourselves and to help others out and to present things. We're constantly making images, presenting things to the world, etc. Ava's the artist. I write the stuff, etc., and a whole lot more than you've ever seen. We've got thousands of images we've produced over the years, and they're all out there. Big ones that have stepped up is we have some wonderful Africans that are really cool, and they're really have so many experiences. They're really cool. One of them is Toward, and he's like 24 years old, and he is a teacher, English teacher in the Congo over there, which is French. He speaks French and English, and he has a friend who calls himself Tars. And these two kids, they're about the same age. I think Tars a couple of years older, and Tars is a security guard. But these guys, they both speak English, and they are wonderful. And they have corresponded with the French Canadians and other Africans. He's got like 50 people in his group right now, and we do a WhatsApp on Fridays. And so again, yeah, it's really, really good. And you're welcome to come if you like. It's a WhatsApp on Fridays at it's 10 a.m. in my morning, so it'd be like 1 o'clock your time. They usually have it if the connection's okay, but lots of times the connection for them is not too good. And so they don't always have it, but it's usually on Fridays. But no, you're always welcome to come to any of these that you want. Most of them we do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday is the singing. And they're all at 10 a.m. Pacific time, okay? And you're welcome to come to any of these groups at all, anytime at all, Phil. And then we have this one here with you and Eric at 9 p.m., yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm amazed that the group got that big. Eric's been trying really hard to grow his, but nobody seems to stick.
It takes a while. It takes a whole long time because, again, and to understand this and be able to present it and to be able to articulate it, it's a lot, Phil. You really have to study. You got to read the books. You got to have the experiences and be able to articulate it. So again, just like if you want to become a teacher, teachers go through, I was married to a teacher, and, she went through 4 years of college after high school to become a teacher, and a year free teaching too. So again, it takes a lot to, and this is bigger. This is something else, that's not common.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think Eric has the capability of being a leader.
He can eventually. I see it, but it's just going to take time. Yeah. It's just going to take time. Yeah. Yeah. You really have to want to do it. And you got to figure it out like anything. But it's going to take time. Yeah.
I've learned with Eric that constantly coming up with new nicknames for him seems to motivate him on the right path. I don't understand it, but that's something that tends to work.
Well, again, you know Eric better. You're his friends, and I have the people that I know here and other places, and I articulate things a particular way to help them along too. Whatever it takes. And so we've had fun with Eric, etc. And so again, I listen. First of all, I listen. I present the new you to people. I listen to the experiences that they have with it. That's where you start. All right. It's like, okay, what experience did you have? All right. And so these are experiences to help you get out of your self-made conscious routine of your personal self. In other words, you're still going to have the personal self, but all of a sudden now you're starting to see something else. Okay? That already exists, but you didn't know that it did. Now you do. So what are you going to do with it? And see, for the longest time, your mind is going to try and relate it just to your personal life. And this is where a lot of the spiritual paths and religions go wrong. In other words, it basically just coincides with your personal life, and that's it. And you just call yourself spiritual. Oh, I'm spiritual because I read this wisdom and all this stuff. No, that's not what life is. It's not a bunch of reading and just because you know ideas and words and stuff like that, or who the old masters were or whatever. No, there's a lot more to it than that. That's a start, but that's not the whole thing. And so this is where people get caught up in that, thinking that, oh, this is it. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Everything's good. Jesus will save me. In other words, it's all to be done for me because I believe. Well, guess what? There's no such thing as belief. That's all made up too. So you got nothing until you recognize what's real. There's the difference. Yeah.
You crew, we gather round real guys, bring the truth profound. These are Germans here, for me to the message clear. Go Paul, Das and Paul, they say Duane the writer leads the way. Time to madness, it's bright, gotta wake up, see the light. Don't think, just feel the vibe. The sun's are gotta concentrate. Break beyond our guide, a cosmic drive. Break the chains, the mental hold, the truth unfold, the story told. We strong, a united front. Against the darkness we will hunt. Time to break the simulation spell with new you power. We are skibbity new you, breaking free from the matrix. Dark forces lurking, reptilian scheme. That lies that control a twisted dream. You together we rise above, shattering the lies, spreading risky. I knew you're staring at the thing to be done.